It's hard for me to put into words what it felt like being on campus today for the CU Buffs spring game on broadcast on ESPN. Just an incredible day. It was fun. I have a lot to talk about in terms of just being there in person for game day, what that felt like. I had a chance to rewatch the broadcast on ESPN and definitely have some thoughts there as well. And then, of course, there's some players and insights and a few more things that I want to cover in terms of some of the alum Buffs that we heard from and all of that. Again, welcome to my channel. I'm David. I'm here talking Buffs, talking Coach Prime Deion Sanders, really anything to do with the Colorado Buffaloes football program. Thank you for checking out my video. Hit that subscribe if you haven't yet. We're almost to 1,000. And hit that like and let me know in the comments what you thought about the spring game and all of that. But let's go ahead and dive in to the spring game experience. So I'll be overlaying some different photos or some half-decent B-roll footage that I got of being on campus. Gotta say, first off, campus looked beautiful. Again, I didn't want the snow to be here. We had 70 degrees and sunny last weekend. Again, Coach Prime said at the end of the broadcast on ESPN, it's going to be 51 and sunny tomorrow, but, you know, we have these days, these random days in April where we get snow and it's below freezing, and that just happened to be today. I'm so excited and so proud of Buffs Nation for still showing out. 47,000 strong at the spring game. Pretty much the entire stadium was filled up, except for that little corner on the northwest side of the stadium that's always reserved in the regular season for kind of the away fans and all that. So really packed house. The energy was fantastic, especially for a spring game. Again, this is my first in-person spring game I've ever been to, but definitely from the different ones I've seen on TV or the Broncos training camp practices that I've been to, even the ones with like Peyton Manning, this had a different feeling to it. And it was great seeing not only local Buffs, and I did meet Randy. Randy, thank you for saying hi. I was inside at the indoor facility in line for an autograph, and Randy came and introduced himself. Thank you for saying hi. I also had a chance to meet Chris from Alpine Garage Sports. His channel is amazing covering the Buffs. Definitely subscribe to him. I'll link it in the comments. But overall, I mean, we had a lot of stuff going on with the autograph signing. We had a bunch of games and really a lot of things for kids inside the field house as well. Missed the DNVR tailgate, got there too late. But again, the stadium was packed. I was a little bummed. Well, I'm lying. I was very bummed that Ralphie didn't run today. Again, the conditions were a little too wet for her. So we'll see her September 9th when Nebraska comes into town to play. Bummed we couldn't see Ralphie, but again, the atmosphere, the excitement around this program, you could feel it. There were people not only here from Boulder, but people from all over the country. People that had brought their football teams, their Little League or Pee Wee football teams to come to this. And I hope that they had a fantastic time. Prime gear was everywhere. Of course, it was being sold like crazy in the different team stores. Overall, just it was a wintry paradise, I guess is how I could put it. I want to talk about the broadcast a little bit. Chris Fowler, CU alum, class of 85, RG3, and the rest of the crew did a fantastic job of broadcasting this spring game. Again, with spring games, there's not much going on really, and you have to make it entertaining. And it was kind of like half football commentary, half talk show, and that's what I love to see. It kind of reminded me of, I don't know if Pat McAfee was doing the Super Bowl. Maybe they did a Monday night game in the NFL earlier this year, but it was kind of that feel where they went between the game and talking to players, and it was a lot of fun. And I want to give ESPN props for showcasing not only the players, but the university as a whole. I think they did a very good job of talking to the fan base and really recognizing the fan base for showing out after a 1-11 season. And overall, I mean, they showed the beauty of campus. They showed the beauty of Boulder. They showed the passion that these fans have. And they highlighted, again, the star players. We had interviews from Jimmy Horn, Travis Hunter, Shedeur Sanders. It was great hearing Shedeur talk about the nuances of getting to know each receiver, knowing how to get the best out of them. That's the type of leadership we're looking for. And it's great to see from him because we're going to need it going into, they highlighted this, we play 5 10-win teams from last year. This is a hard schedule. And I got to say this is another thought that I want to say. We need to dedicate this season to our super fan, the lone remaining twin, Peggy. This bowl that we win this year, that I'm hoping and expecting us to win this year, this bowl game, whatever bowl game it is, I don't care if it's the SpongeBob SquarePants Nickelodeon Bowl. We need to dedicate this season to her. She has seems like a very close relationship growing with Coach Prime, and you could see that on the field for the beginning of the kickoff as well. But overall, props to ESPN. RG3 was amazing. He was hilarious. We also had an interview from Cordell Stewart. I would love to see more of Cordell involved in this program, even if it's just in an official ambassador role, kind of what we're seeing from Darian Hagan now. His passion and the way he talks about this team, it's infectious. And I hope that we see him around the program more, along with other CU Buffs alumni and greats moving forward. So now that I got all that out of the way, let's talk about some of the players. Again, with the spring game, the way that I feel that we should look at these things is sort of similar to NBA Summer League. You can't really take a lot from it, but one thing that you're looking for is, are those draft picks, do they at least look the part? Do they give you glimpses and moments where you feel like, okay, they belong? And that's what I wanted to see from some of these players. Are we going to see glimpses from our star players? And of course, Shedeur played that way, in which you saw him leading, you saw him directing the offense with authority, you saw him throwing touchdowns, you saw him hyping up guys, you saw him even on the sideline getting into it with Lemonious-Craig a little bit, and then connected with him after all that settled down, connected with him for 2 touchdowns later in the spring game. Let's talk about Montana Lemonious-Craig. Give him his number 1 bag. Come on. He was wearing 15 out there, and he had contested catches downfield. He had catches over the middle where he was getting hit. He had 2 touchdowns. He played very well. Dylan Edwards was another guy that popped off for me, and I think it's definitely confirmed after watching the spring game that we're going to see a heck of a lot of Dylan Edwards on the field as a true freshman in the regular season later this fall. Let's talk about Caleb Mathis, walk-on wide receiver, son of Kevin Mathis. Had filling in for Jimmy Horn, had some great catches as well. Ryan Staub came in there as QB2 ahead of Drew Carter, and I think really did separate himself. He had a fantastic back shoulder throw touchdown down the field. He had another, I don't know if you want to call it another touchdown or a 2-point conversion to another wide receiver or tight end off of Travis Hunter. It was kind of a pick play, which kind of knocked Travis Hunter off of his man, but another impressive throw from Ryan Staub. And you can tell he commanded the offense well. He showed great accuracy and very impressed with him. And I love that RG3 pointed him out and highlighted Ryan Staub out in the broadcast as well. And of course, I can't forget about Travis Hunter. We saw him playing wide receiver. We saw him playing cornerback on the outside. We saw him playing inside, covering slot for the 7-on-7 period. But he looked great. He was making touchdown catches. He was making catches both short and long. I forget who it was. Maybe it was Ham guarding him that had that pass interference on him where Shedeur threw it down the sideline. And I thought that it should have been a flag. But overall, I think Shedeur and or rather Travis Hunter had a great game. And he showed those flashes that you want to see. And it was also great hearing the broadcast as well as Coach Prime talking so highly of him because he is such a special and unique athlete. And we're very lucky and blessed to have him here in Boulder. The only thing of concern that I did want to bring up with the spring game is it seemed like the left side of the offensive line in the kicking game had some huge issues. Again, we had 2 kicks that were blocked. I think one was blocked and returned by Jeremiah Brown. That was the first one. I can't remember the second one. Kicking game didn't look strong. Concerned about special teams. They need to get that in order, but we got a lot of time to figure that out. But overall, loved going to the spring game. It was so much fun from start to finish. The crowd, incredible for a spring game. Hopefully we can see Ralphie September 9th when Nebraska comes into town for the home opener. But I'll cover some transfer and commitment news tomorrow. I'm sure we'll have some news rolling out tonight about that, so I'll have a video about that tomorrow. But again, let me know in the comments what you thought of the game, whether you were there or watching the broadcast. Hit that like, hit that subscribe if you haven't. You'll hear from me tomorrow, and SKO Buffs.